Hello friends, welcome to all. Today we are going to discuss about capacitor start induction motor, and especially it is a single phase motor. So this topic is covered in the subject of electrical machines too. Before starting this, we have already seen in a previous video that single phase induction motor is not self starting because there are no revolving field. So single phase motor is not self starting. If we externally move the shaft, then induction motor can start, but this is not convenient method for starting. So there are different techniques we can use for making single phase induction motor self starting, and we have seen one method, it is split phase method. So in that case we have seen that there are two windings, starting winding and running winding, and centrifugal switch was connected with the starting winding. Whenever the motor attains to 60 to 70% of synchronous speed, at that time the centrifugal switch will open and motor will run in running winding. So this is the way how we can make single phase induction motor self starting. And one method of that is split phase machine that we have already seen in a previous lecture. Now in this lecture we will see capacitor start induction motor. It means we will use capacitor for starting purpose. Let us see. The capacitor start motor is identical to split phase motor except that the starting winding has many turns as the main winding. So one difference between split phase and capacitor start motor is starting winding has so many turns as the main winding. Moreover, a capacitor C is connected in series with the starting winding as shown in figure. See, here we can see this capacitor is connected in series with this starting winding. Okay. Now the value of capacitor is so chosen that Is leads Im by about 80 degree. So Is is a starting current and Im is a magnetizing current. So we have to choose Is and Im such that the angle between these two should be about 80 degree, which is considerably greater than 25 degree found in split phase motor. So this is main difference between split phase and capacitor start induction motor. In a split phase motor, this angle was about 25 to 30 degree, but in this case it is about 80 degree. Consequently, starting torque Ts is equal to K Im Is into sin alpha is much more than that of the split phase motor. It means due to this large angle, the starting torque is greater than the split phase motor. Again, the starting winding is opened by the centrifugal switch. In this case also, the starting winding will open using the centrifugal switch when the motor attains about 75% of synchronous speed. So this is also there in a split phase motor also. The motor then operates as a single phase induction motor and continues to accelerate till it reaches the normal speed. So whenever once the 75% of synchronous speed is reached, the motor then operates as a normal single phase motor and it will accelerate until it reaches its normal or nominal speed. So this is the basics of capacitor start motor. Now characteristics. Although starting characteristics of a capacitor start motor are better than the split phase motor, both machines possess the same running characteristics because main winding are identical. So difference is only in a starting characteristics. Running characteristics are same in both case. It means in a split phase motor and in a capacitor motor. The phase angle between the two currents is about 80 degree compared to that 25 degree in split phase motor that we already seen. Consequently, for the same starting torque, the current in the starting winding is only about half that in a split phase motor. So starting current is reduces in a capacitor start motor. Therefore, the starting winding of a capacitor start motor heats up less. So it is obvious thing, if the current is less, then heating is also less, because we know that due to current there are I square R losses, or we can say copper losses, and due to these copper losses the heating is there. If the I is small, it means I square R is also small, so less heating is there in case of capacitor start motor. And due to this, it is well suited application involving either frequent or prolonged starting methods. So this is the advantage of capacitor start motor, and due to this we can use this motor in a frequent start or prolonged starting methods. Here we can see circuit diagram of this capacitor start motor. So it is also identical with split phase motor, but the only difference we can see here is capacitor is connected in series with starting winding. Then centrifugal switch and all main winding, then rotor, all our components are same as split phase motor. And we can see there is a IMN starting current and main winding current. Here we can see angle between this IS and IM is 80 degree. So this is the main difference in a capacitor start motor, because here the angle is 80 degree, but in case of split phase motor it was only 25 to 30 degree. So this is main difference in this case, and due to this the starting torque is high. It means starting torque is greater than the split phase motor, and starting current is less than the split phase motor. So here are two advantages are there as compared to split phase motor. Capacitor start motors are used where high starting torque is required and where starting period may be long. So this is the application of capacitor start motor. First requirement, if our first requirement is high starting torque, and another requirement is starting period may long. For example, to drive compressors, large fans, then pumps, then high inertial loads. So these are some applications for capacitor start motors. The power rating of such motors lies between 120 watt and 7.5 kilowatt, 7 to 5 kilowatt. So this is the way we can see that it is generally small motors, because single phase supply is used. So these are used for small purpose only. Now we will see capacitor start, capacitor run motor. See, in our first case we have seen capacitor start, induction run motor. It means in running case it is just like a induction motor, normal induction motor, and in starting case we are using capacitors. So in that case we can say that it was capacitor start induction run motor. But now this is another method of making a single phase induction motor self starting, is capacitor start capacitor run motor. So this motor is identical to capacitor start motor, except that starting winding is not opened after starting, so that both the windings remains connected to the supply when running as well as starting. So this is the major difference between capacitor start and capacitor run motor, because in first case there was a centrifugal switch, but in this case there is no switch, because both windings are connected to the supply during running and starting. So this is the main difference. Two designs are generally used. Here we can see two designs are there. In one design, the single capacitor C is used for both starting and running, as shown in figure 1. So here we can see this single capacitor is used for starting and running purpose both, and we cannot see any centrifugal switch in this case. So this is the difference between capacitor start induction run and capacitor start capacitor run induction motor. Now this design eliminates the need of a centrifugal switch, and at the same time improves the power factor and efficiency of the motor. So due to this, one advantage is there is no centrifugal switch. Then another advantages are power factor is improved in this case, and due to this, efficiency of this motor is also improved. It means it is high. So these are the advantages. In other design, two capacitors C1 and C2 are used in the starting winding, as shown in figure. Here we can see two capacitors are there, C1 and C2, and it is placed in series with starting winding, and here one switch is also there in series with capacitor C2. So this is second design. The smaller capacitor C1 required for optimum running conditions in permanently connected in series with the starting winding. It means C1 is permanently connected, and it is running conditions is permanently it will connect in running conditions also. So the much larger capacitor C2 is connected in parallel with C1 for optimum starting and remains in the circuit during starting. So capacitor C2 is designed for optimum starting purpose. So capacitor C2 will remain in the circuit during starting. The starting capacitor C1 is disconnected when the motor approaches about 75% of the synchronous speed. So just in case of capacitor start induction run motor, in this case also, whenever the speed is approaches up to near about 75% of synchronous speed. Then capacitor C1 is disconnected and only capacitor C2 will be there in a circuit. It means in a running conditions there is a C2, capacitor C2 will be there. So capacitor C2 is in circuit in both cases, starting and running. But capacitor C1 is also C1 is only connected during starting. Whenever the speed reaches 75% of synchronous speed, then C1 will be removed or opened using centrifugal switch. So this is the second design for capacitor start, capacitor run motor. Now we will see characteristics. The starting winding and the capacitor can be designed for perfect two-phase operation at any load. So we can design starting winding and capacitor for perfect two-phase operation at any type of load. The motor then produces a constant torque and not a pulsating torque as in other single phase motors. So motor will produces constant torque. In some other single phase motors there are pulsating torque is there, but in this case motor will produces constant torque. Because of constant torque, the motor is vibration free and can be used in, see, due to this constant torque there is no vibration because there is no pulsations in a torque, so it is vibration free. So life of motor is also improves due to this, and due to this it can be used for hospitals, studios, other places where silence is important because there is no vibrations though. So this is a silent motor, so it is used in such type of places where silent is important. Now we will see equivalent circuit of a single phase induction motor. The double revolving field theory can be effectively used to obtain the equivalent circuit of a single phase induction motor. Imagine the single phase induction motor is made up of one stator winding and two imaginary rotor windings. One rotor is rotating in forward direction, it means in the direction of rotating magnetic field with slip S, while the other is rotating in backward direction, it means in direction of oppositely directed rotating magnetic fields with slip 2 minus S. So we have already discussed these things in a double field revolving theory. So equivalent circuit can be drawn using this concept. We will see equivalent circuit without core loss and then we will see with core loss. The stator impedance is Z is equal to R1 plus JX1. It means R1 is the rotor resistance and X1 is the rotor reactance that we can see here. The impedance of each rotor is R2 plus JX2, where R2 and X2 represent half the actual rotor values in stator terms. Since iron loss has been neglected, it means core loss has been neglected, The exciting branch is shown consisting of exciting reactance only. Each rotor has been assigned half the magnetizing reactance. Here we can see resistance is R2 upon S into X2, and for second rotor it is R2 upon 2 minus S into X2. So now we can represent the impedance of forward running rotor is ZF is equal to J into X0, here is X0, J into X0 in the bracket R2 upon S plus JX2, and in a denominator there is a R2 upon S plus J X0 plus X2. So this one is the impedance of forward running rotor, and it runs with a slip of S. The impedance of backward running rotor is given by ZB is equal to JX0 in the bracket R2 upon 2 minus S plus JX2, and in the denominator it is R2 upon 2 minus S plus J into X0 plus X2. So this ZB is known as backward running impedance, and this can be calculated using this equivalent circuit. So the impedance of backward running rotor is given by this equation and is run with a slip of 2 minus S. Okay, here is slip is 2 minus S, and in first case there is a slip is S. Under standstill conditions, Vf is equal to Vb. It means forward running is equal to Vb. But under running conditions, Vf is almost 90 to 95% of the applied voltage. So under running condition, forward voltage will be 90 to 95% of the applied voltage. The forward torque is in synchronous watt is given by Tf is equal to I3 square into R2 upon S. So this is the way how can we make the equivalent circuit without core loss. Now with core loss, equivalent circuit with core loss. So in this case we have added R0 and X0 both in a magnetizing component because we are using core loss also. So this is the simple way how can we draw the equivalent circuit. Thank you.